The number one question that I'm asked on a regular basis is how the hell do you manage all your midterm rentals without losing your mind? And I'm just gonna be straight up with you. Managing midterm rentals is freaking scary sometimes, especially if you're a noob. I mean, think about it. You're thinking about chasing down leases, you're thinking about payments, you're thinking about getting the properties listed, you're thinking about all the things that actually come along with listing your midterm rental. And I know what you're thinking. It probably sounds like a total complete nightmare, and sometimes it can be, but I've been able to figure out how to make this a lot easier than you can even imagine. Today I'm gonna be walking you through how I self-manage my own properties and the systems that I use to actually put that together. In fact, how I used one specific program to take care of most of my listings. In fact, all of them. This video is going to be fantastic if you are new to midterm rentals or you're already operating and you're trying to figure out the best systems to use. I'm going to be breaking down everything for you guys today so you have a good understanding and the wherewithal to put your listings out there and to use one platform to do everything. Okay, first up, filling vacancies used to be scary as heck for me. And it used to stress me out quite a bit, especially as I was starting off. And so many people reach out to me today and they're just like, Jess, what do I actually do to get bookings, and where platforms do I go, and who do I connect with, and what am I supposed to do? Like what? The beauty about working with corporate contracts like I do is that a lot of the times they're background checked. But if they're not, I have a backup. I actually use Tenant to do all my advertising for me. I'm gonna show you exactly how to put your property listing together using Tenant, and it's super simple.
As you can see, all you have to do is just add your details, and then we'll use AI to amplify your title and description, making it clean, professional, and ready to use listing.
I think one of the most important things is you want to make sure that you're highlighting amenities like fully furnished, utilities included. You want to make sure that you're mentioning proximity to hospitals, like how close are you? How close is your property to the hospital? Is it within walking distance? Do you actually have bikes in the garage that people can ride the bike to work? How close are you to downtown or super fun places that the city that you may be listing in has, like maybe a cool downtown or maybe some cool bar area or even near hospitals or new construction sites or things that are happening? List everything. And I can't even believe I'm saying this in 2025, but I've been through literally 1,000 listings and I've went through them like myself, swiping through them, and most people don't have professional photos, and I can tell you this is one of the biggest and most damaging things you can do on the planet. And I don't even know how I'm saying this right now, but please pay $250 and get a professional photographer to come take photos of your property. Like, that is a must do and it's required this day and age if you want to book your property on a regular basis. The entire goal behind what I'm talking about is to make your listing super attractive to anybody who's traveling or working on assignment. They need to be able to see what it's like in that property, and your first 10 photos should be exactly that. So if you have an awesome sunset deck that you can sit out and hang out and drink a cup of coffee in the morning, do that. Take a photo of literally what that would look like so people can feel and see themselves in that position as they stay at your property. If it's a comfy couch, put that there. All right, topic number 2 is going to be vetting your tenants, and this is very serious. This is the most important piece of the entire puzzle. If you skip this step, you can potentially have a nightmare tenant that you do not want to deal with. Trust me, I'm telling you guys this because I've learned this the hard way. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of times people that I work with that are in the corporate space already pre-screened, which is great, but I always run background checks. I can't stress this enough. What's really important to me when I'm doing background checks is credit score, 650 or better. Some people have different variations with this. I personally like to be in that space because I know that people are actually paying their bills on time, which is incredibly important. If you're gonna be leasing your house to somebody, like, you gotta make sure you're gonna get paid. One of the other criteria that I always look at is income. This is a big one, you guys. They'll actually consider a lower credit score if they have really good income. What you're typically looking for is 3 times the rent amount. And sometimes you may be thinking about, like, I have my property listed for $7,000, that's $21K a month. Is somebody gonna be able to handle this? You gotta think about that. It has to be your decision. But at the end of the day, what's traditional market rent? And I wanna make sure that they're actually able to meet that criteria. This is a no-brainer. So again, for me, 3 times long-term rental rates is a must. I can't stress this enough. There's like no way around that. That's absolutely what it must be. Trust me, being picky here can save you literally thousands of dollars and the worst nightmare headaches you've ever had in your life. I once had a travel nurse that was staying at one of my properties. She did not make 3 times the rent. In fact, when I first met her, I felt like she was kind of a little bit sketchy with certain things. She had a 600 credit score. She had several credit cards that were past due about 6 months prior to her booking with me. I overthought that. Her credit score was, like I said, about 600. Bad move, because she ended up staying longer than she needed to. She didn't give me the exact dates to move out. She was saying that she didn't have enough money to make the payments, and this is something that you guys do not want to deal with. And I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter what profession the person is. Make sure that you're background checking and that you're also looking at the finances, and even calling these companies to verify yourself. All right, lease agreements. This is where Tenant is super freaking awesome, and it literally becomes your best friend at this point. No matter if your guest is staying for 1 month or 6 months, you absolutely need to have a contract. One of the things that I really love about Tenant is it allows me to customize my leases. This is a no-brainer for me. And let me explain this to you. This takes literally less than 10 minutes to actually start to customize your leases, and you can also send them out for e-signatures, like paper leases. Who even freaking does that nowadays. And state-specific leases are incredibly crucial. I've had so many people that reach out to me. They're like, Jess, can I borrow your lease? My lease is for California. If you're in Wyoming, it's not gonna be valid there. Don't try to wing this. Don't go on ChatGPT or Claude or freaking use some AI to create some lease for you. It is not a good idea. I'm telling you, trust me on this. If anything ever does happen, you want something to stand up in court. And the other thing that I love about Tenant is they actually create a welcome guide. If you're a professional operator, you absolutely need to have that. So as somebody signs the lease, they're gonna get a copy of what your digital guidebook actually looks like. They're gonna know exactly where the Wi-Fi passwords are. They're gonna know about the little quirks, what day trash goes out. Everything you get to lay out specifically for the guest in this welcome book is through Tenant. It's super cool. So you don't have to go through Canva and create something. You can literally have it all done here on the platform. And that also makes you look super professional, and that's something that I absolutely love, especially if you're looking to build repeat business over time. Rent collection. This is a big one, you guys, and dude, let me tell you this changed my life. I used to hate being the rent guy, like literally sending texts to people like, hey, it's time to send your rent over. Hey, Barbara, it's time for you to send your rent over. This is me typing like a crazy madman. One of the benefits about this is it automatically will send out these notes for you. The software not only reminds you, but it also reminds the tenant or the guest that they're staying at your property, that they need to pay rent. It automatically sends rent receipts, which I think is great. And this is actually legally required in 18 states. I just found this out not that long ago. Custom late fees will automatically apply themselves after a certain date. So if you need to have your rent collection by the 5th of every month, if they don't pay it by that time, it'll automatically add that late fee on top of that. So you don't have to manually go in and do anything. It's automatically done. I love that. Love automation. Tenants can pay via credit card. They can pay with ACH. They can pay with debit. And there's a ton of different auto pay options, which I think again is fantastic. And I literally don't have to chase anybody for rent payments anymore. And that's something that I absolutely love. I don't like doing that. I didn't like doing that in the past, and I sure as heck don't like doing it now, because again, this automates everything for me. And honestly, I'm not really a big fan of awkward conversations, and that's where I just don't have to do that anymore. And I love that. Let's actually talk about the stuff that's not that fun. And I'm gonna be super honest with you. I do not like bookkeeping. I do not like taxes. Spreadsheets absolutely do not cut it anymore, especially as you're scaling. Trust me, I learned this the hard way. In fact, when I first started off with my midterm rental business, I did not track any of my expenses. I did not track any of my Home Depot runs. I did not track literally anything at all. And doing taxes and bookkeeping on that years after was a total nightmare, because my CPA would actually ask me for documents for several years ago. Like, I don't even know what I did last week. How am I gonna know what I did 2 years ago and what I spent it on? This is why proper accounting software actually matters. You actually get depreciation reports that are ready to go, which Tenant does this for you. You get P&L reports for every single property, which you absolutely need to have. You have real estate specific bookkeeping, which is totally different than any other type of bookkeeping. Just keep that in mind. And you can also set easy automation rules. So every time you go to Home Depot or you make a payment to a handyman, you can set those rules in there, which I love that. And the cool thing about this is that you can get everything ready to file for your CPA literally with the software. Savvy investors know that they need to be using software because you can improve what you don't actually measure. And this is something that I learned the hard way, and I'm telling you guys right now, please don't do that mistake. Like, you gotta know your numbers. Did I say numbers? Numbers. Be a savvy investor, please. Look, the bottom line is you should not be spending your time chasing rent collection, scrambling to get your books together like at all ever, especially at tax time. And the cool thing about this software is it literally handles everything for you. It handles it for your staff. It handles it for your team. And you need to make sure that you're simplifying your actual real estate life, especially as a midterm rental operator. It protects your assets, which is your properties that you have, and it also makes sure that it protects your liabilities, which are your bookkeeping, your taxes, all those things that are gonna be super important for you that you have to make sure that you're paying attention to at the end of the year, because again, if you don't, you're gonna run into a lot of mistakes like I did. Please don't do that. And I love this because you can keep everything with your real estate portfolio in one specific spot and not have to use different softwares to do different things. I love being able to use one thing for everything, and this is absolutely one of those cases where we actually are doing that. The cool thing about this is if you implement one of these systems, you'll immediately start to streamline your business, and this is exactly what you're wanting to actually do, because you're actually making your life easier. All right, seriously, if you wanna check out Tenant, I'm gonna leave a link down below. Please go check them out. They're my go-to for all my property management software and systems and operations. Drop a comment if you have any questions at all about self-managing. If you're self-managing, I would love to hear it down below. If you're passing your rentals off to somebody else, let me know what that's like. I'm curious, because nowadays with interest rates being as high as they are, sometimes it's a lot better to start to self-manage your own properties. And yes, it can be cumbersome, which is why I like to use systems and operations like this. Tenant makes that so much easier. And before you leave, please make sure to smash that like button. I can't believe I said just smash. Like, I've never said smash that like button. And subscribe, because again, your input, your information, me being able to spit out this years of all this rental stuff to you guys not only makes it easier for you, but also allows me to continue to grow this page and get to more people who are trying to build their business just like all of you right now. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.